So, hello everyone. Today we have an amazing personality. He is Gitan Das of Chemical Engineering 2024 pass out batch. Against all odds in this recession period, he has cracked a top American multinational software company of BNY Mellon. So, hello, please give your introduction.
So, as he has already said, so I am Gitan from Chemical Engineering UG4 and passed out 2024 batch, and I have been placed in Bank of New York Mellon. It is on-campus placement, and that's it. I think
All right.
at that time.
So, you have done so many things in your college life. So let's go to the beginning. In when did you, during the time during your J preparation, and when did you enter engineering? What was your mindset? Means how did you approached into engineering life, that you will do coding or you will go to core, or what was your mentality that time? Your background, please brief it.
Mm, So, my subjects in the 11th, 12th was physics, chemistry, math, and computer science. I had no
Mm,
biology in my curriculum. So, from the very first, I was very much into the computer and coding space.
yes.
So, I always wanted to do a job in coding and pursue CSC, but I gave my first JE in 2019. Then my rank was around 900, so I got chemical engineering, but didn't join
Oh,
Jadavpur University. Okay, I
all right.
joined KGC in CSE.
Oh, oh,
Then when I went there and got to know about all the placement opportunities there, and some of my friends are also in Jadavpur University, they told me the scenario here. Then I got to
please
know that
share
I have
some.
done a
Please share some of the scenario you faced that time in KGC CSE. How was, well, how it was different from that of Jadavpur?
um. First of all, I live in Kalyani only, so it
Okay.
was like a school going for me. Okay, there is no college life for me as such. I go into the college, did the classes, and came back home. So I was not getting the feel of a college life
Mm,
that much. And when I went there, I got to know that the placement there was not, means that at part with Jadavpur. I mean, in the lower branches of Jadavpur also you get better on campus placement than CSE in KGC.
yes.
So when I went there, then after talking to the seniors and after the orientation, I somehow felt that I have done a mistake by not attending Jadavpur University,
Mm,
and I somehow just filled the WBJE form in 2020 also. Okay,
mm.
I I didn't took it that much seriously. I didn't give JEE main or JEE advanced. I
Only
gave it in
WB.
2019.
Mm,
In 2019, my rank was around 30K in main and 12K in advance.
all right.
So it was like in such a place that I would not get a very good department in any good colleges.
Mm,
So I finally joined KGEC. After that, in 2020, the WB was in January, I think,
yes.
January
Yes.
mid, and my second semester examination concluded in January first week. So there was only 1 week gap, and I had not prepared that much. Means the
Oh,
preparation was before, means
before.
2019
Yes.
preparation was carried on, and I just got through some formulas etc. in the 1 week and gave the exam and didn't bother about it. And then the COVID came and the lockdown happened. The lockdown, I was just chill, waking up in the morning, doing some online classes and gaming or chilling with the friends. And then after, I think that result came out. I just checked the result. It was my rank was around 1700, 1800. So it was not good, and I thought that in 900 I didn't get a good department previously. So in 900
Mm,
I got chemical. I wanted to join any circuital branches, but I didn't get. So I thought that in 1800 I wouldn't get anything, so I didn't sit for counseling also. I
oh,
was totally unaware of anything. Then in September, December, around December, one of my friends from Jadavpur told me that there is a sport counseling happening in Jadavpur, and due to the COVID and COVID, the cutoffs have gone very much high, and you will get decent branches, I think.
Yes.
So I thought of a thought for some time, and then without much thinking, I just applied for the spot counseling. And I thought that if I get up to production chemical, then I may consider joining. And then after the spot counseling happened, I got the seat in chemical engineering. That was a difficult time for me to think
Mm.
that after 1 year or 1.5 year in CS, in should I switch back to
Mm.
chemical or something. Then I thought that see in on campus placement, the chemical place is around 7.58 lakh is the average here in
Mm.
Jadavpur University. And if you just research some a bit, in KGC it is around 3 or 4 lakhs in CSE only,
Yes,
if
obvious.
you take the on campus only. So I thought, let's give it a try in chemical engineering. If I and I also got to know from the people, my friends in Jadavpur, that there is a screening happening, and
Mm.
all the students get a chance to be part of an IT drive, IT company drive. So I thought that let me just go to chemical.
Mm.
If I find that chemical engineering is good for me, then I may continue with the code. Or there is always a second way that I can switch to the IT space.
Yes, yes.
This was the means my mentality when I came into Jadavpur University. And of course, in the first 1 and 1.5 years, there was no such physical classes, only online classes.
Only
So
online.
we didn't read
Yes.
that much. At that time, actually, that was the ideal time to start coding preparation and do
Yes.
everything. But as most of the people did, I didn't consider that much, and I
All right.
just chilled through the lockdown.
So, when did you start your coding journey? At what point of time during lockdown? As you said that during lockdown you didn't do that much coding. So, when did you start coding?
So during the lockdown, I didn't start, and when I was in the second year, okay, so the batch, my classmates from class 11, 12 who were in Jadavpur University were in third year. So one of them was means pretty much associated with coding, and he got a internship offer from the on campus. Okay,
Okay.
so then suddenly it clicked me that he has got an internship offer. So I have to just now think about my life in the
Mm.
way that should I go for the code or for the coding.
Mm.
And then I started the coding journey from, I think it was 2022 March, I think. No, sorry, 2021 March is
2021
what.
March means that that time was the beginning of your second year.
Second year, second sem was means in the midway, I think.
Second year, second
Second year,
semester.
second it
So
was
you
in the midway.
started coding fourth semester. Okay.
Yes,
After.
and before that, I had a general grasp about the coding from the 11th, 12th. I had
Yes,
C,
yes.
C++, and I had also went through that in the first year of the KGC. I was in CSE, so there
Yes.
was means I was in touch small bit, but I
Yes,
just
yes.
had the concept, but
Only
didn't
basics. All.
go into the deep. Yes,
Yes.
there was no DSA. Only the language was learned.
All
That
right.
I know that C only. Okay.
Okay.
Then I started learning C++ from the Abdul Badi courses from
Abdul Wadi.
Coursera. I think everybody knows that that's one of the best courses for learning
Yes.
C++ or DSM. So after that, I started solving some questions from GFG, the lead code. I actually started lead code early only because those friends also solve lead code. So sometimes we gathered in a meet and started doing questions. In this way,
Okay.
uh, I started my journey. And around I think uh, the summer break, June, July, I started the DSA from Abdul Badi's course only,
Okay.
and it just went on smoothly after that.
So you did means the programming part you did completely free of cost. You didn't enroll in any type of paid course. All right.
Actually, those are paid courses, but I got them free from
Anyways, okay,
other
okay, okay.
sources. You know that.
But you didn't pay any money. That's the main
No,
thing.
no.
Okay.
Throughout the 4 years, I haven't
4 years. Nothing.
I haven't
So
paid anybody.
so this is a big myth busted that you can do coding preparation completely free of cost if you have the willpower. So
So, if you also don't want to get to any unfair means, the
hmm,
YouTube is enough for
enough.
everything.
Yes,
So
yes,
you can get
obviously.
anything from the YouTube. There are amazing channels there.
Yes. So as you said that the after the lockdown in fourth semester offline classes started, then from a core department like chemical engineering where subjects are typically vast, how did you manage core and coding simultaneously? So please say something about this.
Mm. See, at first 1.5 year it was online, so there was no
Mm,
pressure. Okay,
okay,
and
obviously.
then after when suddenly in the second year the offline classes started happening, it was like means what should I do? Means there was no clear concept from the previous years, and it was just like a mountain falling on me. Okay,
Uh, all right.
and then I means before the exams, uh, 1 month before the exam, I started studying. Uh, and as it was the first after COVID batch, so there is some leniency in the question and syllabus also. The syllabus was slightly reduced, so there was not very much problem. But yes, it was very much problem for us because we are giving exams about after 2 years an
Yes,
offline
yes.
exam. So that was a problem. And in the second year, second sem, when I started coding, I daily used to solve some questions
Hmm,
and see some theory or videos, etc.
hmm.
And before the exams, I just tone down a bit. Every exam, tone down a bit. Like I regularly do the daily challenges in GFG and lead code.
Yes,
So that was an everyday practice, and it is also continuing now also.
yes. Oh,
So
now also. Okay.
so in this way, I am keeping in touch with the coding, even
Hmm.
though it is exam or anything. So in this way, I continued in the exam, and I prepared for the exam. And after the exams are over, I went into full time coding.
So,
And
in fourth semester, fifth semester, before the exam, approximately how many days did you prepare for your semester exam?
actually, it depends on the college and the department very much. That you will get the hang of it after you give 1 or 2 semester exams. That how much time do you need to study? So for some people, they study 1 week before the exam and they get top
Yes,
numbers. But somebody needs a 1 month before. So I generally had about 3 weeks before the exam. I started means slowly, and then before the exam it uh,
fast pace.
yeah, it was fast paced
Okay.
in this way. And mostly the notes given by the sir and the suggestions are enough, and the previous year questions are enough to get a decent 7
Yes,
8
yes.
GPA,
Obviously.
8 8.5.
So, coming to the next topic, so please give a brief description about your internship season. How was the intern, and from a core branch, how was the opportunity given to you in internship season in third year?
So the internship season was not very much good for me. Okay, so as I have already told, and I think viewers, some of the viewers know that this screening test happens in
Hmm.
uh, internship season also for the third years and in the final year also for the fourth years. So in the screening test, I was in top 10. Okay, so it was
Yes.
not a problem. So I think the screening test happened around August first or second, around that time, first
Yes.
week I think. And the first company came just after next day of the screening. That was Schrodinger. That's a means a very good company for.
Very good,
And,
good company.
it
Yes.
is. I think this year is the topping company of Jadavpur. I think so.
Yes. Yes.
So it came for the drive, and it had no restriction like this department is not allowed. Only they had the criteria that the top 20 of the screening is allowed and circuitous branches are allowed. So I had to go to Jadavpur the next day, and I gave there the exam. The exam was online, but we had to attend the PPT. So we had to be present there. So I gave the exam from Jadavpur only.
Yes.
And after the exam, when I was returning, means I was not too much confident that I will be selected for the interview,
Okay.
because there was around three questions and I did two, and the third I couldn't do. So I thought that there are so many guys in CSE IT, so they will clear that, and I don't think I will get the chance.
Okay.
So I started returning home, and at around 6 p.m. Uh, I got a call from the PC that I have been selected for the interview, and the interview is starting from 7 p.m.
Okay.
and I am in Shialda train. Okay,
Okay.
so I have to return. I was in train and I had to return, and then I just told that please reschedule it to 8 or 9 p.m. I will not be home before that, and they
Hmm.
rescheduled. I just came home and started giving the
Started
interview,
interview.
and I was literally not ready for any kind of interview. I just gave the screening test. I was just well versed with the
Okay.
DSA part. Means DSA, not advanced DSA, medium level DSA. I was versed with, and everything other than that, like the CS fundamentals or anything, I was not prepared for an interview in any way. I just
Hmm.
gave the interview, went in, and it was not a good experience in the interview. I just
Hmm.
did the DSA questions that were given to me. Two DSA questions like reversal English, like general type of questions,
Hmm.
and that was it. And they asked me about the CS fundamentals. I told that I am from chemical engineering. I haven't been
Okay.
able to go through the CS fundamentals.
What was their reply at that time? When did you
Actually, in interview, you wouldn't find any negative reply from the other side
okay.
normally if the interviewer is good. So they didn't bother that much, and my interview lasted around 15-20 minutes, and
Okay.
it was over. And I knew that I would not be selected because there's no
Okay.
point of selecting me.
So
And in this way,
how many students was shortlisted for the interview?
I think 12, 14 around
12
12
to
or 14
14.
students.
So among so many students in Jadavpur University, out of 12 students you were present. That was itself a very big thing, even though you couldn't
Yes,
clear the interview.
actually,
But
for the first company that came for the drive, I could give the interview. That was an achievement for me,
yes,
and
yes,
then I
obviously.
started uh, so, to learn some CS fundamentals from my side. But after that, the season completely went very bad for me. Okay, after that, I think there was a Accenture came. Accenture.
Yes.
So in the Accenture OA, I cleared the OA, but after that, there was a I think verbal communication round
Hmm.
happens, and in the verbal communications round, many top coders got eliminated.
Okay.
Okay, I was one of them. So I got eliminated. So I was very much confident that I would have cleared the Accenture, but it didn't go to the interview round. So there's no point of discussing. And after that, company came the resort pay, and in
Yes.
resort pay OA, I couldn't answer all the questions, and I was not selected for the interview.
All right.
In OA, there is always a luck factor. Okay, means
Obviously.
a question, if a question comes, if you can do, you can't do. Sometimes you know all the logic, but the idea doesn't click in your mind. So it happens. Only these three companies came. I was means prepared for some companies like Samsung, etc., that allowed previous year, but in our year they didn't allow any other branch other than circuit.
Yes.
So
For example, Samsung allowed the previous year, but in your year
yes,
it
yes,
didn't allow.
it didn't allowed. I was very much prepared for the Samsung because the a friend of mine who is senior to me, who got the internship, he got in Samsung only. So I was very much confident that if
Confident.
Samsung comes from all the experience of him, I would clear it, but they
But they didn't
didn't
allow.
allow us.
Okay, so it happens
This
every
was
year.
internship season. Yes, yes.
Every year it changes. Every
Yes,
year
it doesn't mean that in our year only three company came. In your year,
yes,
there may be
obviously.
more, 10 or 15 companies also can come. It depends
It,
year to year,
it may be
varies.
more, it may be less also. So completely.
Yes, yes.
So your whole internship season only about three companies you did a set and experience was not that much good. But anyways, you got your experience, and after that, you got your summer vacation of 2.5 months, At that time, you did what kind of preparation, and after that, how was your placement uh, season experience?
Hmm. Before that, I want to tell that from a code background, it is somewhat very much difficult to get an off-campus placement. I tried
Yes,
very much through the internship season in LinkedIn or any other job portals
yes,
to get an internship, but I couldn't manage to get means even a way round or
way around,
interview
yes.
round. Okay. It was the problem, and I think for the off-campus people, you have to do some good projects. Full stack projects are mostly in demand. If you have a good project, then there is a chance that you will be given a chance to sit for a OA or
Yes,
an interview. That is a good thing to have in your resume. But in the third year, I had not that much kind of projects. I was a basic like a website design. There was such projects in my
all right.
resume. So it was not means up to the mark for the off-campus placements. So in the 2.5 months, of course, from the department, I was offered training, industrial training. Uh, all the code peoples know that
Yes, yes,
industrial training is almost must for everybody. But I didn't go to industrial training because I was means determined that I will go to the software space.
software
So
development.
there's no point of going into industrial training. So in that 2.5 months, I started grinding. My DSA was over. Means I uh, means papered all my DSA before the date, and there's some advanced topics like tries and some advanced graph algos that were left, and I just completed that in that period. And the CS fundamentals like OS, DB, SQL,
Hmm.
these were the main things I prepared in those 2.5 months. And I also uh, did a major project on machine learning. It was on CNN,
Hmm.
convolutional neural networks. So it was too much hectic in all those
Yes,
2.5
obviously.
months. I had to study the CS fundamentals. I had to keep in touch with the DSA and also do a project side by
Projects
side.
also.
So that was a very much difficult phase. And after that, so the screening happened again.
Yes.
And among all the participants in the non-circuital domain, means in the core branches, I was second in the screening. Okay. After that, the first company that came was Oracle. For the Oracle OA, I said, and there was some basic aptitude type questions. And
Hmm.
after that, there was a REST API question and one or two, I think, DSA questions. So the DSA questions were done by me, but I was not very much familiar with the REST APIs.
Hmm.
So I practiced one or two before the exam, but couldn't means complete that in time in the OA. So I
Okay.
was not shortlisted for the Oracle interview.
All right.
And after that only the next company was BNY. The BNY there was four questions. Four questions. One was fairly easy toward medium, and one was a hard one. The hard one was DP based, and medium was I think backtracking recursion based, and another was O1 knapsack problem.
Zero one
And the
knapsack problem. Yes.
yes, 0 1 knapsack problem. And the easy one was easy, like means find the word in a dictionary. This kind of question was there. So I was able to solve all the fours in the way. So I was pretty much confident that the interview call will come. Uh,
Hmm.
I talked with this all everybody who gave the away. The away was taken in Jadavpur University only. It was not means you can give from home. It was from Jadavpur University Tech building. So
Okay.
I talked with everybody, and they told that many of them could have solved the four questions. So I was little bit means doubted that if they take the time into consideration, I was able to solve the four. I mean, about 5 minutes prior to the deadline. So
Yes.
I was not totally sure. After that, the interview occurred about 2 weeks after that. So
Hmm.
in the meantime, there was IDFC Bank OA also there. So IDFC
Yes.
Bank means it was also a very good company. It was offering 23 LPA. So I sat there, and it was totally on aptitude based. There was no DS or nothing. It was totally aptitude. There
Aptitude
was
based.
3 or 4 rounds of aptitude, and aptitude, you have to be very much quick in solving this aptitude
Yes.
and also accurate. And I was not that much, so I wasn't selected for that. But after that, the interview call came, and we
Mhm.
went for the interview.
So, how was your interview experience? Please share something about that.
um, the interview experience, it consisted of 3 rounds. Okay, so the 3 rounds were, first one was purely technical, second round was technical, and there was some means also, mm, for the HR questions were also there. And the third round, it was mostly HR, but it also consists of technical rounds. Okay,
Okay.
so in the first round, it was around about 30 minutes. So it
Hmm.
was just basic introduction and some basic questions like what languages do you know, etc. And
Hmm.
there was three DSA questions asked to me. The first
Hmm.
one was explain and implement smart sort. Okay, and the second one was find the factors of a number using recursion.
Okay.
And the third one was, this is a very basic question, display Fibonacci series up to k elements.
Hmm.
The first one was very much easy. I
Okay.
don't think anybody
We would face
should have
problem.
any
Okay.
problem. Yes, and it also depended on the interviewer. Some interviewer kind of asked some basic
Yes.
questions, some interviewer asked some advanced questions. And in the second round, it was the biggest round of all the three. It around lasted for 1 hour 20 or 30 minutes around. It means it asks question from all the fields. Okay, DSA, OS, DBMS, each questions. And the interviewer was very good. He asked the question step by step. Means he asked a basic question. If you can answer it,
Hmm.
he increased the level in that question only. In
Hmm.
this
Okay.
way, he increased the level until you can't answer a question. In this way, he went on. And the DSA question that was asked in this interview was, it was also an easy one, that given an array that contained uh, some numbers and some zeros. Okay,
Hmm.
and the task was to shift all the zeros to the right side and all the non-zeros to the left side of the
Okay.
array without altering the order of the non-zero values.
Okay.
Hmm. So it was the, and I gave the answer. And there were some questions like what is state log, what is multi-threading, multi-processing,
Operating
etc.
system.
Yes, yes, OS questions. And the DBMS question, there was some question like what difference between SQL and NoSQL, how data is stored in NoSQL, and
Okay.
there was a big question of SQL queries. It was one of those questions that he gave a simple one at first, then he started adding some columns, rows into the SQL table and increased the difficulty
Hmm.
until I couldn't answer. Okay,
Okay.
in this way it happened. Okay, and there are some also conceptual questions from DBMS, and the projects of mine, of course. The interviewers was of the what do you say, web dev field. Okay, he knew web dev, but my project was on AIML, so he didn't grind that much on my project. Okay, he just went through the project and asked some simple questions on that.
All
It
right.
was around all about the second round. And there were some HR questions more like, what do you see yourself in 5 years from now in this way.
Yes.
um in the third interview was quite means interesting. Okay, I had faced some means unexpected questions like, uh, he first asked about mm, my previous two interviews, how it went, etc. Then he
Hmm.
gave a DSA question that you have to find the longest palindromic word or words in the document using recursion. Okay,
Okay.
it was the question. So I just told my approach and then coded it. And after that, it this question was unexpected. He asked me a low-level system design question.
Okay.
I hadn't prepared that much on lower level system design. I just prepared the OOPS concept.
Mm.
So if anybody has gone through what is low level system design, they know that OOPS is a major part of that.
Okay.
So the question was designing a lift system of an apartment with some n number of floors, and each floor has two switches for going up and down, and there is a screen that shows that which elevator is coming to pick you up.
Okay.
This was the question I had to design the system.
Mm.
So I just took some time and then told my approach and then coded it up in the C++ using Oops. And I think he was fairly satisfied and we moved on. And he asked some DBM's question like what is normalization, 1NF, PCNF, etc. Then OS questions like what is thread process, etc. And how do you see and
Mm.
then process in Windows, etc. This is kind of basic questions. And
Yes.
HR questions like why do you want to do a job in SD when you are from chemical engineering?
Yes. Very important question.
And yeah,
Yes.
I think in every interview, if you are going from a core branch to an SD interview, this question is one of the questions that you will face 90% of the times. So
Yes.
you have
Obviously.
to have a very good answer prepared for this question.
All right.
And there's another also question: why do you want to join BNY? Means in any company, this also
This
is
question
asked
comes.
that why do you want to join this company? So this is also very standard question. You have to prepare it. And after that, he just asked that, do you have any questions? I just asked that what was his role and what will we do in the company, and he just explained that
Hmm.
very good in a very good way.
So, all
In this
right.
way,
So your
the
interview was a more or less smooth one, not a very big problem you faced. And after that, finally, for your juniors, what kind of advice did you do you recommend? If starting from DSA, you said that YouTube is obviously enough to crack any software company. You said channel like Abdul Bari. Do you like to add anything in especially DSA? How to prepare for this?
I would tell that if anybody is starting early from like first year or second year,
Yes,
he can start means he has a very much time in front, so he can go through all the fundamental theories, etc., and start uh, lead code, GFG, etc., and also
mm,
can give the contest and get into the competitive programming environment. The competitive programming is a very much good way to be well
yes,
versed with the DSA.
obviously.
Means if you can't don't practice in a time bound manner, you will not be able to grasp the DSA. So it is the one of the best ways to prepare for the DSA. And for the
Yes,
fundamentals, the OOPS, DBMS, etc. There's a channel called Gate Smashers. They have a very good
yes,
playlist
gate
for that.
smashers.
Gate Smashers, and so for those OOPS, I found I think two lectures of 1 or 2 hours each from Lab Babbar, I think.
Yes.
That was very good. And these are some of the
So gate smashers and lab
materials.
bubber for CS fundamentals. And
Yes.
okay, so and what do you suggest for projects? Full stack and machine learning, anyone or both?
I would suggest if anybody has not started, I would suggest you start full stack projects that are in very much demand. AI/ML mean no company asks specifically for AI/ML other than some very limited companies of data analyst or etc. Means they also do not means say that you have to have a AML project. You have if you just have the concept that is enough. But in most cases,
Hmm.
in off campus mainly, the interviewers or the company just tend to be satisfied more with the full stack projects. And whatever
Uh,
projects you do a end-to-end project. Like there should not be any discrepancy in the project. Like it should be user-friendly project. Means a user can
yes.
use the project. In
Hmm,
that way,
all
you
right.
have to present the project.
User friendly, obviously. So so you suggest that to do full stack. After that, if he some have time, then he can do machine learning.
It's of course that if he has means very much interested in AI/ML, then he can go into the AI/ML
Yes,
field. That is
obviously.
not the problem. But if anybody has no preference, then I would suggest go for the full stack, because the opportunities are much more there. At least at the
Yes.
present time, I don't know in the future what will happen. But at present, if you just scroll through the LinkedIn job post or everything, you will find that most of them are just full stack job
Yes,
posts.
yes. And coming to the last question, is doing any kind of internship or research internship is necessary to get a good placement or not?
For on-campus placement, internship doesn't matter that much. If you have a good project, that is enough for the on-campus. But for off-campus, of course, the internship
It
makes
matters.
a big
Yes.
impact, because if a recruiter says that you have already worked in a company, he is more means satisfied other than a project that you have done yourself.
So in your case, you didn't do any internship.
No, I couldn't. I means I
All
couldn't
right.
get an internship, or I would have done, of course. There is,
So
of course, the
uh,
preference is
uh,
doing internship.
yes, but
But
you could.
if anybody can't do that, is not the end of the road. You will get a good placement if you just blind it yourself.
So guys, this person has cracked a top American software company without doing a single internship. So it is obviously possible. If you do not get any internship, do not get motivated, and you still have a very high chance that you can crack a top company. So it is proved by this person. So thanks a lot very much. I had a very much pleasure to have you in our channel. So I will provide the LinkedIn ID in the description. If you have any query, you may reach out to him. He may answer. So do you like to add anything else?
Just some, I may add some tips for the interview if anybody
Hmm,
is going. So if a the interviewer asks any question on DSA,
hmm,
at first you have to means convince him that you know the right way of
hmm,
solving it. You
hmm.
have to understand him that means he should be able to understand your approach. After
Okay.
that, you have to go into the coding, and when you are writing the code, be it on pen, paper, or in the
Hmm,
IDE, you have to just explain every line you do. Means it should be interactive. It should not be like that you are uh, writing code silently. It should be
hmm.
interactive. Okay,
Obviously.
so that the and in if in any part the interviewer says that I can't understand it, you have to just re-explain it so that the interviewer understands every part of the code. In this way, if by chance you have do a silly mistake and in the end of the code the code doesn't display the required output,
Hmm.
then also the interviewer can say that your approach is well enough. Maybe some silly mistake have
Yes.
happened, and that is good.
Approach saying is more important. What is the
Yes, the
approach?
approach is more important, and the coding is also means that sometimes you know that silly mistakes happens,
Yes,
and
obviously.
takes some debugging. So
Hmm.
sometimes that happens, and in if you there's something that you don't know actually, then don't give any imaginary or unlogical answer.
Yes,
Always tell that I don't know, I will
that is a better
see this
answer.
after the
Yes.
interview in this way. Okay,
Hmm.
and if you know some means I think there's some questions you are not sure that you know the answer, there is an answer in your mind, then you can just take the permission, I think I know the answer, I can
Hmm.
try. In this way you can tell, and if it is not correct, then he will tell that it is not correct, or he will just move on.
Yes, yes. These kind of approaches we have to keep in mind during the interview.
Yes,
So,
and always try to be humble, polite, and means talk slowly, not very fast, so that the interviewer can't understand. Talk slowly, take your time. The interviewer will be pleased after that.